this great city county of Kisumu. We will not attain it until we are able to provide the requisite infrastructure, both social infrastructure, physical and economic infrastructure that are necessary to ensure that our urban areas are in a position to provide the middle income status for its residents. So we are moving, Your Excellency, in the right direction, and we will be able to support you in that regard. I want to also very quickly, Your Excellency, mention that you understand we have 3 programs that we are running, which would then, you can, once you establish Maseno as a town on its own, and I believe the population of Maseno now should be 40,000 plus, going by the recent 2019 census. Then, Your Excellency, we can, in the midterm review of the Kenya Urban Support Program, you can pitch for, Maseno being incorporated as part of the beneficiary towns under the Kenya Urban Support Program. The Kenya Urban Support Program is part of the greater KENAP, Kenya Urban Program, which is a $1 billion program, and we are rolling it out. Kisumu City County is a beneficiary of the same program, so Maseno would then be the next beneficiary. We also have BCRAP, where Kisumu is not yet a beneficiary, but we'll be rolling that out. BCRAP simply means building climate resilience for the urban poor. And we'll be able to look at Maseno and bring Maseno within the same framework to benefit within the greater BCRAP program, which was launched in New York in 2019 November. Having said that, may I say that it has been said that, when a town comes, of course, it comes with those parking people, both boys and girls. Unfortunately, if it is girls, there cannot be girls without boys. So we will also have the boys coming around. I heard the VC aloud saying that Maseno is an institutional town, which means that without Maseno University, then Maseno town is not there. But Your Excellency, what we then need to do is this, is to make Maseno be in a position to stand without the university, so that the university contributes rather than the university being the main fulcrum of the activities around Maseno town. What that means, therefore, is that, Your Excellency, we start with planning. We need to plan Maseno. We need to have Maseno have its own integrated urban development plan. That one you need like yesterday, and tomorrow when the governor has launched this, ensure that tomorrow you commence the integrated development spatial planning for Maseno town. It is that integrated spatial plan, Your Excellency, that from where we can do 2 things. One, once you have done your plan, can we, through the Kenya Urban Support Program, pitch for a sewerage program for Maseno? So that Maseno becomes a town. You do not have to, have those septics and the pit latrines and so forth. You can have flush, toilets, and we have a complete sewerage program within the presence of Maseno. That's one of the benefits, that the town should be able to bring. The foundation infrastructure, physical infrastructure, layout for Maseno can be able to come in that, so that Maseno begins to look like a town that, that reflects the great city county of Kisumu. I had the VC talk about, some slums, so forth, which the VC is saying we need to improve. Excellency, once you have made Maseno, you have inaugurated Maseno town today, we can also apply for the affordable housing program to be domiciled in Maseno, so that under the affordable housing program, which is also being run in our State Department, we can then have the housing hostels, for the university students. That will be part of, making then Maseno become very vibrant. I think, Your Excellency, I wouldn't want to really go very far, but lastly, may I say this, that in order What then we need to do is to ensure that after we have done the integrated planning for Maseno town, can we also do a sub-regional plan for the town of Maseno, so that Maseno becomes a growth node. But then we have Kisian, we have Holo, we have Kombewa, all of that triangle, and then when you jump over here, then we have Luanda, and with Luanda, the boundary between Maseno and Luanda, we can be able to extend, do our plan in conjunction with our neighboring county, so that the influence of Maseno is very distinct, and Maseno becomes a growth node whose impact transcends to those other urban nodes and beyond, which can even go up to Vihiga, Luanda, and even be felt even up to Yala, and all the other urban nodes that are surrounding this growth node then we call Maseno. So that all the foundation infrastructure that we bring in Maseno town are those infrastructure that will be acting as triggers to trigger and spur development in the other smaller urban growth nodes that I have mentioned, and many more that you know better than I do. I think, Your Excellency, I want to also convey the congratulations on this day from my PS, Charles Hinga. Thank you very much.
A hearty round of applause for the PS representative. I gave him enough airtime because he had a very important message to pass over. I want to recognize in a special way the Vice Chair, ODM Kisumu West, Bwana Nyagayo Agok, wherever you are. Just wait for you. Asante sana. Now it's my pleasure, Bwana Governor, without the efforts of your beloved CEC, we wouldn't have seen this wonderful day. It's now my pleasure to invite the CEC Lands, Housing, Physical Planning and Urban, Honorable Dixon Obungu.
Thank you, Bob. I think I'm one person who is more happier than anybody else for this occasion to have taken place. Because since I assumed the office, this has been my dream, that Maseno and the rest of the other towns will be inaugurated. And, Bwana Governor, today makes me a very, very happy man seeing this crowd coming here. Today is not my day. I know you have a lot of message for us, so mine will be fairly brief. I won't take a lot of time. But first, I want to recognize a number of my colleagues and people who are important in this occasion. First, let me say, since Maseno is like a child of Kisumu, Kisumu will be like our elder sister, who will be guiding Maseno to achieve its full potential. First, let me recognize the presence of Kisumu City board members. I know John is here. I don't know if there's anybody here. John Mbija is a member of the Kisumu City board. We recognize you and we ask you to kindly guide Maseno. The good thing you're also a resident of Maseno town. Secondly, I'd like also to recognize the presence of the city manager, Madam Doris Ombara. I don't know if she's still here. Oh, Madam is here. Madam, your responsibility still extends to Maseno. You have to guide us. Okay. And then I'd also like to recognize my colleagues who are here. Let them stand and then I just, okay. I'm told that responsibility will rest with the DG. So for now, I just want to thank Charles Konyango for the very, very good speech that he's given us. A lot of those things are quite key to me, and we are expecting that once Maseno is inaugurated today, then a lot of funds or a lot of resources will be mobilized to develop Maseno as a town. So, Bwana Governor, just allow me to have a brief speech because I know I'm not supposed to be doing it, but it is a privilege and honor to witness the putting in place a dedicated administration structure and office for Maseno Town. This is a demonstration of effective administration and governance in the growth and development of urban areas. For Maseno Town, this is a new dawn for a brighter and fresh start. As a town with unique characteristics, sitting along equator line between two ethnic communities, as well as being a university town, the setting up of administrative system should give it a greater impetus to grow sustainably. Having interacted with residents through various platforms of public engagement, this is not just an empty assertion. I'm confident that this action we are here for today will find a place when history books of Maseno will be published. Your Excellency, I can't thank you enough for taking a bold step in conferring a town status and inaugurating its administration. This is happening when the country is considering dedicating at least 5% of its national budget to help fix various urban challenges. Your Excellency, I'm honored to have been accorded by you the privilege of leading a team of birthing Maseno as a town and its administrative system. I can assure you that together with my team, this baby will be tended very well to fully realize her developmental potential. With the governance system in place, the growth trajectory of Maseno Town should be felt both in short and long term. With good management and governance system, the town should be able to orderly development and therefore a more livable town. The capacity of town to interact or to attract investment and create jobs is also going to be witnessed. Your Excellency, as a department, we can't be more excited to be part of this development. I give an undertaking to help you maintain a clear vision of Maseno Town. We are very aware that it's not just Maseno. Your vision has catered for others as well. From Maseno, we are heading to Ahero and Muhoroni, where similar launches will be held. Before the end of the year, we pledge to have inaugurated all the 5 towns, including Katito and Kombewa. This is a testimony that your development agenda is not just Kisumu City, but the entire county. I dare say now, Your Excellency, that you are the best gift Kisumu County has had. To talk directly to the people of Maseno. I know people are asking why, or what's the importance of inaugurating Maseno Town. So I'd like just to briefly state some of the services or some of the things that you'll be expecting, to get in this town once inaugurated. I know Bwana Konyango has talked about integrated physical planning for this town. Bwana Director, I can assure you that this is ongoing. We expect it to be done by the end of this year, and I hope Governor will be able to launch it. And from there, I think development of Maseno will be now put in black and white, so that we know from here we go do here. In this place we shall do this. So that one is done. So you'll be expecting physical and planning in this office we are inaugurating today. The land issues, which has also been mentioned here, that that Maseno has a lot of land issues. I know it was mentioned by the VC. So that will also be tackled here. Fortunately, that role also lies with my department. So we shall have this office to tackle all those issues. Infrastructure, roads and drainage, all those will also be handled here. If there's a problem, residents will just walk into the offices here and have those sorted out. And also, when you're doing the planning or when you're doing the budget, it will be fairly easy for us to get the feel of what's happening on the ground so that we can address them adequately. Housing has been mentioned here. It's very, very inadequate given the population of Maseno Town. So housing issues will also be addressed in this town. Solid waste management, environmental and beautification, social services, health services, education will also be tackled in these offices. At this time, I think it's also proper just to give one of my colleagues a chance to tell you what's going to happen just after this event. Salman Rimba, can you just come and briefly talk, just tell us what's going to happen?
Thank you so much, Waziri Dixon. Your Excellency, the Governor of the Great County of Kisumu, the Deputy Governor, Area Member of Parliament, all my colleagues who are here, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kisumu, the VC of Maseno University, MCS present here, members, leaders, and members of the public who are here today, and the staff of the county executive. Mine is just to corroborate on what my colleague has said. Maseno cannot be a town without water. Maseno cannot be a town without sewerage services. Maseno cannot be a town without proper waste management. I want to believe that this is the best day that was set for us also to unveil the water provision and the infrastructure which we have done as a department, and we have handed it over to our water service providers, Kiwasco, to take responsibility in terms of management. I want to also to say here that in line with solid waste management, we did have this program last financial year, and we have talked with my colleague, Waziri Dixon, and Waziri Gilchrist Okwom, in charge of agriculture, and we have been allocated a site where we are going to do waste transfer and recovery center. And the handing over is taking place on Tuesday next week for this particular town. Governor, also allow me to mention that in terms of sewerage coverage, we realized that when you decided to make Maseno a town, we moved ahead and made sure that we think in terms of sewerage coverage. And we did allocation for this town. We proposed a containerized system of sewer services and a treatment plant. And we have that allocation. We are in touch with the funders. We are in touch with the partners and donors so that it can be upscaled, because we have allocation of 10 million to do a sewerage system for this particular town. That is the containerized system. I want to believe that our discussions has been centered around what is the capacity of the population to be served. We are looking at a population of close to 60,000 people. And with that, the money which we have allocated is not enough, but because of our good working relationship, which has enabled us to talk to our partners and funders, we are hoping that Water Sector Trust Fund is going to come in handy to help us achieve and manage to do a sewer system that will be able to cover this population. Governor, I want to conclude by asking those in my department to stand up, those who are behind the service delivery which you have managed to put in place for this town. The Chief Officer of Water and Sewerage, Zacchaeus Okoth, Director of Infrastructure Development for Sewerage Coverage. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
To conclude, I think I also want to recognize the effort that has been done by various groups. First, I know we are working in very close collaboration with Kura. Kura has done some roads here. I don't know if if Engineer Donde came here. Maybe he's not there. Yeah, but we are working very closely with Kenya Urban Roads Authority. Now that Maseno is a town, an urban area, they should take minimal responsibility of doing good roads. I also want to thank members of my department. I want to recognize what they've done. And I don't know, I just want to Can they stand wherever they are? They've done a marvelous job. Yesterday when I came here, I thought of canceling this event. But then they've done a marvelous job. I'm proud of you. Thank you very much for what you've done. Yeah, I'm proud of them. So I think that should be the end. Yeah, let me hand over back.
Round of applause for Waziri. And I would like to emphasize that after this, the governor will be going to commission the Isuvalu water project, which is another achievement for the governor of the great county of Kisumu and more so for the Maseno community. We are getting to the climax of the day. It's my pleasure now to invite Elisha Oraro, the Speaker of our Assembly, to come over and run the program downwards.
Thank you so much, Bob. Now to the Governor, His Excellency Professor Peter Nyong'O, the Deputy Governor, Dr. Matthews Owili, the Area MP, Honorable John Olagalwach, all the leaders who are present, na wananchi wote wa Maseno. Amjambo. I'm Elisha Oraro, Speaker Kisumu County Assembly. And the Governor, I want to say that in as much as Dixon was saying that he's happy, I'm more happy than him. Reason being, as an assembly, we work interdependently with the executive. Not as Kisumu County, but that is what is required in the whole country. That there must be interdependency in working relations between the executive and the assembly. In fact, the Constitution puts it very clear that there shall be a county government with two arms, the executive and the assembly. And the roles are very clear. And I always want to say that the roles of the assembly are three: representation, oversight, and legislation. Now, as an assembly, we've done our part. We've done a lot of legislations, and some are coming, like the chair planning did put it. But we are happy when we see that what we aspire to be done is done. We did put some small budget for the launching of 5 towns within Kisumu County, being Maseno, Ahero, Katito, Kombewa, and Muhoroni. Maseno being the first one. So thank you, Governor, for doing that. But somebody said here, actually it was the senior member who said that when a town comes, the senior member, Honorable Priska Research, that's the whip, that when a town comes, it comes with different things. That is the truth. And let us be sincere, that as members of Maseno town, there shall be good things that are coming, but there are some that will be seen as bad things. Because, number one, you heard the CC lands talking about planning. So it means you will not just wake up and build your house. You will have to build it as per the plan. It also means that you will pay for some services. But again, it's the responsibility of the county government to bring those services. That will not be easy for some of us, and it might take some political dimension. But I want to urge members of Maseno town that let it be a responsibility of us as citizens of Maseno and the county to ensure that Maseno grows to the next level. Now, there are 2 things that has happened this year, this financial year. One is the launching of the 5 towns, and 2, the village administrator that the sub-county administrator talked about. These ones passed through the assembly, and we are happy to note that devolution is going to where it's supposed to be. And as an assembly, we are happy about that. Governor, Maseno is just at the border of Kisumu County and Vihiga County. And as the Director for Urban Development did say, we need to invest in Maseno for us to attract the people who are coming from outside. Because the truth of the matter, there is Luanda here in Vihiga County. Now, for us to attract people coming from other areas, we have to up our game by doing what necessary that will attract people to come from outside and trade in Maseno. As an assembly, we also have to take a challenge. Can we reach our counterparts from Vihiga County and come up with legislative proposals that will ensure that there is harmony between Vihiga County and Maseno County in terms of business and in terms of operations, owing to the fact that we are within the border. Otherwise, such issues may bring conflicts which should not come if we foresee them, and that's the main essence of planning. Finally, Governor, where we are seated today, Maseno ATC, I'm aware that you were once the MP of Kisumu Rural, where Maseno used to fall. And for me, I think it's an area that has a lot of potential, but we have not maximized its usage. I'm saying that because I'm aware Kisumu West sub-county is highly agricultural. And now we are going to have a town. The town might appear to be an education hub, going by what the Vice Chancellor said, that without Maseno University, there is no town. And that was challenged. We have the potential for growing horticultural crops within Kisumu West sub-county, which is going to feed into Maseno town that is being launched today. And I want to challenge the CEC for Agriculture, I think I saw him here, that please do something about ATC and do something about promoting agriculture, especially horticultural agriculture within Kisumu West sub-county, because it is going to feed into Maseno town. You got the conclusion that the Vice Chancellor was making in terms of food alone, that if each student is consuming 150 Kenya shillings per day, then it turns to 1.1 billion Kenya shillings that needs to circulate within Maseno town. Otherwise, I want to say that in the Kisumu County Assembly, we have chairs of different committees. And as you are aware, they all came here almost to the full house. It's only that we are having some public partition on climate change bill. That's why most of them could not be here. But the ones that are here, we have different committees. And you are working with the Committee of Planning, ICT, and Translation, that is Honorable George Olwal as the chair. But we also have the Committee of Education. Honorable Rao is there. And the Committee of Sports, Culture, we have Honorable Maurice Ngeta. And the Committee of Labor, mwenye anasimamia maneno ya wafanyikazi, Honorable Rashid is there. Then we have the PICPAC, Public Accounts Committee, Public Investment Committee, by Honorable Tiang of Chemelil Ward. And we have the Committee of Water, I think Honorable Meso is not here, and other committees. So please, I want to urge that as you do the integrated plan, let's ensure that we take care of the interest of the people of Maseno town by working with the representatives from the assembly who are mandated to chair those committees to ensure that when the such legislation comes to the assembly, we don't have any conflict. Otherwise, I'm happy as a resident of Kisumu West and as the Speaker of Kisumu County Assembly that what we decided to happen is happening, and we believe that the next thing that's going to happen, we are going to have Ahero, Muhoroni, Kombewa and Katito being unveiled. With those few remarks, I want to go to the next level and invite Honorable John Olago Aloch, who is the area MP. And once you are through, I request you to invite the Deputy Governor, who will do the necessary.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to move away from everybody so that I can lower my mask. I think the distance is not too bad now. Your Excellency, the Governor, Professor Nyong'O, Your Excellency, Deputy Governor, Dr. Willie, the Speaker of our County Assembly, Vice Chancellor, Maseno University, all honorable guests who have been invited, ladies and gentlemen, I stand here to congratulate on behalf of the people of Kisumu West, His Excellency the Governor, on this occasion that is historical, on the unveiling of Maseno as a town. I stand here as somebody who has seen Maseno grow from many years ago when I was a student at the Maseno School, to see what it is now. Your Excellency, not many people may know that unveiling of Maseno as a town today is not something that you and your administration just thought about. It is anchored in legislation. It is based in law. Thank you very much, Bob. I was saying that the unveiling of Maseno as a town is not just a whim. It is anchored in legislation, in law. And I want to refer all of us to the Cities and Urban Areas Act that we passed in the 10th Parliament. In those days, bills used to come from the office of the Attorney General to the Leader of Majority and then to the National Assembly. That bill, when it came to Parliament for discussion, only had Nairobi as a city. Myself and Honorable Danson Mungatana, is no longer an MP now, we hear about him in the media but for all the wrong reasons. Honorable Mungatana and myself read through that bill carefully. And we said, if we are going to pass this bill in the National Assembly, before it is signed by the President into law, we must make sure that Kisumu and Mombasa become automatic cities. We got an amendment into that act which read as follows. On the enactment of this act, the municipalities hereby known as Mombasa and Kisumu shall automatically be cities. That was an amendment that I inserted in that act, and that's why Kisumu became a city in law. Elected leaders at every level, from honorable MCAs, members of parliament, governors, even the president, we all have clearly defined responsibilities. We have clearly defined actions that we must perform. In my view, although our roles are different and independent, but they are not meant to compete with each other. They are meant to complement each other. And that is why I'm here. Because when Maseno becomes a town as it is today, the people who will benefit are not just the people who voted for Governor Nyong'O, but they're the people who reside in this county. We should be proud on this development. I want to say, Professor Nyabundi said that we have come a long way as classmates, university and all that. But from the little town that it used to be, where the only institutions that were clearly defined was Maseno Hospital, Maseno School, Siriba TTC, Maseno Farmers Training Center, FTC, as it used to be called, where we are now. Government Training Institute, GTI. Those were the only institutions at that time. GTI gave way to Maseno. GTI and Siriba TTC gave way to the university. But let us understand that Maseno is at the border of Vihiga and Kisumu counties. My constituency, Kisumu West, is very cosmopolitan. But Maseno town is the most cosmopolitan of them all. The two principal communities here are the Karateng and Wanyore, the Luyas. But there are many others in this area, many others. In the past, and Your Excellency, you've been MP for this area before me. In the past, every time we reached elections, during campaign time, we would have tension, ethnic tension around the border here. With some stupid, inexperienced politicians from both Kisumu and Vihiga saying as follows: Maseno is ours. When I'm elected, I will ensure the boundary of Vihiga goes up to Darajambili. Another stupid one says, Maseno is ours. When I'm elected, the boundary will go up to Luanda. Why do I say stupid? I say stupid because those are ethnic tensions that can bring warfare. Your Excellency, today is Parliament sitting day. We have two sessions, one in the morning, one now. But I decided to come in this morning because I thought this occasion is important. It is very important. And when I see the leaders of the two principal communities seated here, Mr. Philip Awenyo is there, Mwalimu Mbija is there, David Okeyo is next to him, DC John Anguka is next, I see former MC Umbogo there, and many others. These are leaders of Karateng. When I see him say Obaso and the leaders of the Luya community in Kisumu West, I'm happy. I'm happy because these elders are helping me to bring peace, lasting peace in this area. We have had a problem. When I fought very hard to have more sub-locations, more locations and divisions, elders agreed that what is going to be Maseno town today should have a name that unites the two communities, a name that does not divide them. In June, I raised the issue in Parliament. And when C.S. Matiang'i came to Parliament, he said that what he knows is a Siangani sub-location, where we are now. He said that's the record he has. But I want to tell you clearly that the name of this sub-location, once it is operationalized, is Maseno Township Sub-Location. That is a name that is going to unite us, not divide us. And if there's anybody around Maseno who says that the name of this sub-location will be something else, you are misleading our people. The name, I'll make sure, is Maseno Township Sub-Location. Yesterday in Parliament, I was with my brother and MP for Luanda, with whom we share a common boundary, Honorable Chris Omulele. He couldn't come because he's the one chairing the session in Parliament today on behalf of the Speaker. He sits on the Speaker's panel. But he says that I pass his regards to everybody who comes from this sub-location and this ward. We have worked very hard with him to ensure that bring everlasting peace. What is important, Your Excellency, is that when the town brings opportunities, those opportunities should be shared equitably between all the communities that live here. But I want to tell you, as a living example of urbanization, me, Olago here, it can come with a lot of pain. I'm glad that the laws that we have now based on our 2010 Constitution are laws which are human in nature. They are not the laws that we used to have before when I was growing up, where if Maseno is declared a town, then the people who live in Maseno are evicted so that others who have money can come to settle in Maseno. I'm a victim of that law, the old colonial laws. Having been born in Kondele, grown up in Junction there, now living in the hill. From Kondele we were evicted because the town was being expanded. So we were told, move. Again, 1975, we were told the town is moving again. It is being expanded. Again, move. That time now was older. And I said, I even went to, after the second year of the university, I said, went to court and I said, we shall not move because the town is not going to be for other things. It's for other people to come and live. And that's the time to make sure that the county administration also benefits in terms of revenue collection. So be prepared for that. I think we have lessons to learn from, Your Excellency, in terms of urban planning, and I'm glad that we have good planners here with us, so that we don't end up with slums all over Maseno town. If we start early, it will be easy to manage. But if we wait too late, it will become too ingrained, it will be too difficult to change. Personally, I would be glad that the benefits of Maseno town be enjoyed by even our neighbors from Vihiga, to come and enjoy, then they go back again. They come and enjoy Maseno, then they go back to their homes. These boundaries we have are very artificial, ladies and gentlemen. Even if the boundary was changed from here to Luanda or Darajambili, or from here to Luanda or somewhere else, they are artificial. We have relatives who are married from the Luya community, they are living in Karateng, and vice versa. So why should we go to war? I know the only problem that we have, and Mr. Basso was saying, when Luya girls are married in Karateng or Seme, their children end up speaking the Luo, not Luya. But when Luo girls are married in Luya land, their children speak Luo in Luya land. It is mother tongue, but I don't know why mothers from this side cannot speak. That is mother tongue, as it is called, mother tongue. Your Excellency, I want to join you this afternoon and to wish you well. Those of us who are elected have responsibilities to perform for the people who elected us. You cannot be elected MCA, and before you make a name for yourself as an MCA, you want to be MP. Then you are elected MP, before you make a name as an MP, you want to be governor. No. I believe in civility. And that is why, as elected leaders, we need to respect each other, whether we agree or disagree. But we must have respect for each other. So that when we talk about leadership, we talk about leadership behind closed doors, not in the media. Your Excellency, it's my pleasure to join on this occasion, and I wish Maseno town very well. Thank you very much. May I kindly now ask His Excellency the Deputy Governor to take the microphone and address us.
Kisumu to join him in unveiling the firstborn of Kisumu city, which, as you all know today, is called Maseno town. I'll be making very few remarks before I invite him, but before that, with his permission, I would like to recognize some senior county government officials. And I will start by recognizing the county attorney, this is standing, Wakili Edris Omondi. I would like to recognize the city manager of the city of Kisumu, Madam Doris Ombara. And now can I have the county cabinet members standing up so that I can recognize you accordingly. Let me recognize the presence of the chief of staff and the county head of communication, John Obiero Aweti, who is in charge of education, human capacity. He's also called Kwash. I can hear from them. Then we have Waziri Judith Anyang, who is in charge of business, marketing, and cooperatives. We have Waziri Dr. Joyce Osogo, who is in charge of roads, public works, and housing. We have Waziri George Omondi, who is in charge of finance and economic planning. We have Waziri Gilchrist Okwom, who is in charge of agriculture, livestock, and fisheries. And Waziri, I've been asked by my colleague there and your colleague to thank you most sincerely, together with your team, and I'm told you are here with your chief officer, Dr. Omanga, and the rest of your team. You have been very good to the department that is headed by Dixon Obungu, by Unveiling Space, where we have the town council office, and of course where we are today. He told me to thank you most sincerely for that. And of course, the department for which we are here today is headed by Nan and Dixon Obungu, and he's worked very hard together with his team. You know, Kisumu became a city more than 10 years ago, and therefore it should have been obvious that a city of the stature of Kisumu should have at least some towns surrounding it. We came to realize that what is obvious was not obvious to so many other people, and it took the arrival of the governor of the county of Kisumu, Professor Peter Nyong'O, to midwife the birth of this wonderful town. And so I join all of you in thanking the governor for his vision and for his steadfast leadership in ensuring that today we unveil this particular town, and not just this one. He already has a plan that will have 4 other towns to be able to complete that matrix of having a city together with surrounding towns. Tumpigie makofi basi kama tumekubaliana nini. But allow me also to say this, before today, Professor Nyong'O, we wouldn't have known whether it was the university that is in Maseno or Maseno that is in the university. Because I think the university grew faster than the town. Now that is the trend that the unveiling of this town today will seek to address. And I know that people are saying that can the town survive without the university? I am thinking that we should not divorce the two institutions. We have examples of cities that have grown into big cities in the world because of the universities that are there in them. And I can mention just 5. One of them is the city of Santa Barbara in California, where the governor spent quite some time at the university. We have Minneapolis in Minnesota. We have Manchester in the UK, and of course, Austin in Texas. And so there is no harm in having the city of Maseno as a result of the catalyst that should be Maseno University.
In Kisumu County, we consume some 900,000 birds annually. And we also realize that in Kisumu County, we consume 180 million eggs. When we pegged this against our production, we found that our production was less than 30% of what we consume. In this way, we embarked on a serious project where we wanted to empower our people through the poultry value chain. Over the last 3 years, we've been giving out chicken, different kinds of chicken to farmers within the county. We have managed to empower quite a number of groups, youth groups mostly, and women groups. In 2016-2017, we gave 3,100 improved kienyeji birds. In 2017-2018, we gave 6,500. In 2018-2019, we gave 2,550. In 2019-2020, we gave the highest, which was 8,969. This brings to a total of 21,119.
The county government they built this.
My dear friend, Honorable John Alagaloch, who is the MP for this area, and all other dignitaries who have come here today, wananchi wa tukufu, thank you so much for gracing this occasion. But before I say what I have to say today, because this is a very important day, I'd like to just do a commercial for my friend Paul Omanga, the Chief Officer in charge of Agriculture and Irrigation. Paul gave me a letter here, and he ordered me to reveal its content. Because we are in its compound, the Agricultural Training Center, and as a Department of Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock and Fisheries, Office of the Chief Officer, Agriculture and Irrigation, he wants to let you know the following. The Department of Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock and Fisheries intends to renovate Maseno Agriculture Training Center during the financial year 2020-2021 at a budget provision of 10 million shillings. Makofi kwake basi. That means that this building here, which was built when I was MP for this area, and the contractor who built it is right here, called Ochar, who is the chairman of Seme constituency. I remember inspecting this building. The key areas for the work include the following. Painting of all buildings. As you can see, it needs some paint. Internal, external on the roofs. It's a long time since it was built. Perimeter fence with concrete posts and chain link wire. Paint gate, right signage, and provide wiring. Culvert entrance to gate and maram access to road from the gate to administration block. Tile floor of old school hall, replace ceiling board, repair electrical, paint interior, external and roof. So hold Omanga responsible in a couple of months' time that he has done these things. Makoke kwakwa. Asante very. Now, my dear countrymen and women, first I'd like to welcome the new interim administrator for Maseno town, Dr. Kennedy Hongo. He's interim because he's a civil servant in Maseno County, Kisumu County, but he will midwife and husband-wife. The town, before we advertise competitively for a much more permanent administrator. So wale ambao wanataka kufanya fajiri hapa, mwe tayari. Baada ya huyu, wewe utakuwa hapa kama administrator, if you succeed in that kinyang'anyiro. Basi. Thank you very much, Kennedy. Now, it is really my pleasure today to welcome all of you to this Thursday evening for launching Maseno Town. I remember with nostalgia, many years ago, growing up as a young boy in Rata village, just down here, 10 minutes by car on the Kombewa road, and making trips to Maseno to come and sell vegetables grown in my mama's backyard to the missionaries who are living here. My mother used to grow cauliflower, which was a very special vegetable. Nobody in the Gweng knew what cauliflower was. She also used to grow carrots. She also used to grow spinach. And then nobody would eat them there, but I would bring them here with my brother Agri. Then we go to the gate, and Mamsap is sitting right in there. Then the Mamsap sends the cook and the dog to come to the gate so that I give the vegetables the mamsap will decide what money to give me. I had no right to bargain. Because you can't go in because the dog is there. And then I'm given the money and then I take it back to my mom. I remember that very clearly. And then later on, as we were growing up, my father became the principal of St. Philip's Bible School here when I was at Alliance High School. But before then, and this I must reveal as a personal secret, when I was at Ndiru Primary Intermediate School in particular, Maseno Girls, the boarding girls' school was open. The first students in that school was my sister and another girl who was a very good friend of hers, who became my girlfriend. I was in Ndiru, but I had a girlfriend. And I was standard 8. So when I went to Alliance, the girlfriend went to Bujore Girls and I pursued her there. So I had a very fond memory of this. Don't ask me what happened after that. That's part of integrated special development of Maseno. The missionaries set the foundation for the educational institutions here, which have been the real foundation of the growth of this town into thriving town we are unveiling today, must really be congratulated. My father was a student at Maseno High School, this one here. And he was taught by a man called Edward Carey Francis, who, when I went to Alliance in 1962, was headmaster at Alliance and taught us as the last students he taught. So we share a common father in education with my late father, a man called Edward Carey Francis. When I went to look at the records of my father many years later after he died, I found a very interesting record written by hand by Edward Carey Francis, Naughty Boy. Why was my father naughty? Because he graduated from there and Carey told him to go to King George VI Hostel, now called Kenyatta, to become a nurse. So the first week, his duty was to take Minyaga from the ward to the toilet. After 1 week, he said, "Thank you very much, this is not my job." He came to Carey and told Carey, "I can't do that. Naughty boy, can't do what he was told to do." So then Carey was lenient enough to say, "No, you go and be a teacher." And that was my father's journey to God towards being a clergyman. So we have very fond memories of Maseno, ladies and gentlemen. When we talk about urbanization, that Konyango has really emphasized today. On a global scale, over 55% of the population now live in urban centers. And this is projected to reach 70% by 2050. That's on a global scale. In Africa, it said 50% will be in urban centers by 2030. But globally, by 2050, 70% of every human being who lives on this earth will be living in urban centers. So we must begin early to prepare for urban life. All these things you see like markets, like Holo, Kombewa, they are going to be urban centers of prominent proportions in the next 10 to 20 years. Let's not cheat ourselves. The earlier we plan for them, the earlier we build necessary infrastructure, the better for our people in the next 10 or 20 years. In Rata, for example, of young men whose homes I know, but they refuse to build their Simba in the village. They go and Kombewa rooms in Rata Market. And then very soon I hear they are married at the age of 21. I said, there's something wrong somewhere. As an African country, these statistics are particularly important to us because apart from Asia, the urbanization will be happening in Africa much faster than anywhere else in the world. According to the World Bank and the 2019 Kenya Population and Housing Census, the annual urbanization rate is estimated at 4% every year. 4 out of 100 people move to the urban centers every year, whether you like it or not. Some go there without knowing what they're going to do, but they are there. If you want to know what kind of people they are, go to Madare, go to Kondele, Swagahia knows. You'll see that people have come here, what they're doing, you don't know, but they are surviving. So you have to cater for them, you can't ignore them. And you have to know what it is that will make them live much more honorably in the urban centers. It is important to note that with the promulgation of the new 2010 Constitution and the subsequent coming into effect of the devolved governance system, the growth of small towns across the Republic has been unprecedented, a remarkable impact on devolution. I don't know whether you have noticed it, since devolution. Since devolution, a place like Rabur has changed tremendously. Since devolution, a place like Lela here, I cannot believe it. One time when I was campaigning for the governor, and I could not understand the kind of heap of rubbish in the center of Lela, something I never saw before. That means a lot of people are there doing something and putting waste somewhere, which becomes very dangerous if it is left for a long time, producing cholera. We have to do something about it. So somebody who said, I think Konyango said it, and I think Elisha Raro also said it, that when Maseno is growing, it is not just Maseno we are planning for. Very soon we'll be planning for Lela. When Kombewa is growing, not just Kombewa, we'll be planning for Holo also, because Holo is even bigger than Kombewa. So I think we have a lot of work to do as county government, a lot of work to do. And I'm glad that Konyango has told me that if we do these things well, there are funds by the World Bank, I know it. And in fact, even today, USAID sent me an email congratulating us for this and giving us inklings on how to tap some resources from USAID that can help in the social infrastructure in our urban centers. Growth of towns and cities are influenced by various factors. Educational institutions have played a critical role in the growth of hundreds of towns throughout the world. And there are many cities that we can mention. I don't need to mention them because some of you may think it is double Dutch. If I told you something like Bordeaux in France, you don't know where that is, do you? Anyway, you know, makofi kwa basi. Today we witness the birth and indeed growth of another college town, Maseno University and its predecessor, Siriba College, and the outlying educational institutions are responsible for the birth and growth of this vibrant university. I concur with my friend for a long time, Julius Nyabundi, that this town is going to be, is already a city town, and the more we develop it, the more it will become a city town. You know why? Because universities always produce other institutions. For example, research institutions. I'm assuring Julius, that if Maseno is growing the rate it is with a good medical school, some scholars from somewhere will come here and want to do a research in conjunction with Maseno University. They will need somewhere to live. They will need somewhere to put their graduate students. They will have the library of their own, and very soon you will have another college here as an outshoot of Maseno University. It has happened in many cities I've known and lived in. And so I think Maseno University, please soldier on, knowing full well that your leadership in this city, in this town, will not be challenged if you do your work as a university properly. And but addition of the potential and has been evidence to contribute to socioeconomic growth. Urban centers attract population from diverse areas, both within and outside the national borders, and are therefore melting pots for different cultures that shape the very growth of those towns. Urban centers are also centers for innovation, and Maseno here, by virtue of being a university town, has the capacity to contribute to socioeconomic transformation, not only Kisumu County, but the Western region as a whole, as has been said here, but also for the East African region. As you know, Maseno lies appropriately on the equator, on the road to Uganda. What I'm advising some of the people I see here, put a first-class hotel. It doesn't need to be very big, but it needs to be attractive and welcoming. You know what I'm, a boutique hotel, like Sovereign. You know, if you put here, people will be coming from Uganda to spend a weekend here. The person who gains is you, because that's your business. But we as a county, we must do our best to promote you as part of Maseno. So I'm kind of now appealing for local investors. Let's not think of investment as something which is always coming from outside. The way Nairobi is growing now, if you go to Kiambu, all those coffee farms are gone. People are putting huge apartments in the middle of nowhere. And therefore, nobody stops you in Karateng putting a whole apartment block there. Students will come there because they don't have nowhere to go. The next time the matatus will be going there. Border borders will be going there. Transport industry will be increasing because of you. Growth of urban centers have been characterized by challenges such as poor planning, low infrastructure, investment and social amenities, poor governance, and weak institutional capacity. Oftentimes, this had led to proliferation of slums and other informal settlements, poverty and unemployment, environmental degradation, among other negative issues witnessed in our towns. But this should not encourage us to discourage us from doing what we are doing. There's a famous saying which says, when the going is tough, the tough get going. Makofi. We must be the tough. I'm a you. With slums, we keep on going, baby. And building better roads and better houses so the slums can disappear. Prudent and deliberate effort must therefore be put in place to ensure that we harness the benefit of urbanization while reducing possible emerging outcomes. It is against this backdrop that my government has made the deliberate and informed decision to confer town status with its administration system to Maseno and to give special attention to its socio-economic and environmental issues. To this extent, there will be a dedicated team of staff headed by the Office of the Town Administrator, working under the oversight of a town committee, but in place as the provisions of urban areas and cities. John, let me promise you, when we do put in place a town committee, it will recognize the cultural diversity of Maseno. And therefore, my friend, a businessman here called George Atwitwi, where's George? Is George here? Yeah, people like George. I'm not campaigning for him, but I'm just giving an example. I will get ready to build Maseno. Their town committee is coming, and we need people who are committed to public service, who are not going there because they want to line their pockets. We want people who have been there. Now you see our problem in the assembly, the National Assembly. John, you know, these days, the young people who just arrived there the other day, they don't know whether they're in an assembly or they're in a marketplace. Yeah, I'm a civil. So I think that's very important that citizens, wale ambao wamekomaa, tafadhali simameni ili tuendelee na kujenga town ya Kisumu ya Maseno. Kwa sababu bila a solid and effective town committee with dedicated ladies and gentlemen like the old aldermen in Nairobi. When I was growing up, there were men in Nairobi City Council called the aldermen, people like Alderman Rubia, Alderman Huddleton, and so on. They went to the city town, the town hall, at 5 in the morning. They debated up to 8. At 8, they went to Nairobi Club to eat. Sometimes they went to Long Bar where their wives are not allowed. I don't want to worry about the history of that Long Bar. But these people were serving Nairobi because they wanted to. Unaona? So we really want aldermen, serious aldermen, to run Maseno. To underscore our commitment to the realization of the Maseno dream, we have appropriated over 40 million shillings this financial year for water and sewerage, road and lighting infrastructure, solid waste management, and tourism development in Maseno. Why do I say tourism? Let us make use of the equator. The only town in a few towns in the world who sits on the equator. That's a big tourist attraction. Get a hotel here called the Equator Hotel Maseno. Somebody coming from Tanzania will want to, hey, let me go to Equator Hotel, see what it's like. I am aware that is not enough, but it is a statement that going forward, we will have a dedicated budget for Maseno town to adequately offer services to our residents. The governance structure put in place to manage the town will also enable the town to recreate its own linkages and partnerships that will improve service delivery and accelerate its growth and development. The growth of these satellite towns will not only bring services closer to the people, but also to create economic nodes that will create opportunities for thousands of people. This will also serve to reduce pressure on the city of Kisumu. I'm looking forward with excitement to the completion of the conferment exercise to the other 4 remaining towns, Ahero, Muhoroni, Kombewa and Katito, which were gazetted together with Maseno. God willing, we should do this in time for Afri-Cities in November 2021. We shall continue monitoring the growth of our urban centers and make appropriate plans for them so as to ensure that we harness the full potential of urbanization. Ladies and gentlemen, With those few remarks, I would now like to invite you at this joyous moment and duty to officially unveil the Maseno town as a town, and God bless Maseno, God bless Kisumu County, and God bless Kenya. Asanteni sana ndugu zanuni. Sasa tumefika wakati wa kuunveil the town of Maseno.